I'm a little bit nervous. I've put this back together just to see if the drive works, and I've not turned it on yet. Let's hope it doesn't go bang and let out the magic smoke. I don't know if those are good noises or not. Right, back in a mo. I think it's dead. If I open up drive setup, it didn't take this long before, and the LED wasn't on. I think it's dead. Let's try another drive inside. So I've borrowed the drive that was originally in the LC, which is a 160 meg IBM drive. Let's turn the LC on. Right, this is going to take a minute to boot, so I'll be back. Well, it's booting from the external drive. It's just a 7.6.1 install on here. But I don't know what jumpers I need to set, because unfortunately the hard drive here doesn't have the same connector on for the button on the back to choose the SCSI ID. There we are. We do. So I'm just looking at how to change the jumpers. Okay, progress. I've moved this jumper. It was on the second to last pin. Apparently it doesn't need to be on there, it needs to be over there. Found a forum post on MacRumors forums. Somebody was basically having exactly the same problem. Their 20 meg drive died. So it's now booting from the external drive into system 761, and we have both hard drives. Excellent. So if we do Apple System Profiler, it might tell us what the SCSI IDs are. So SCSI ID 2 is the external, SCSI ID 0 is the internal. So if I now go to Startup Disk and choose that one, I guess, we'll see what happens. Yes, so it's booting now from the internal drive. They're very loud, these drives. If it shows my Big Sur wallpaper, then I'll know that definitely it's booting off the internal drive. There we go. Right, it's at this point it freezes for a minute. So I shall be back. So the LC's finished booting and we can see both hard drives. So the one that's selected is the external 160 and the one just here is the internal IBM one that isn't supported by disk utility or drive setup even. And if we zoom in, Macintosh HD on SCSI ID 2 is the external 160 meg drive, and we can initialize it in drive setup because it is an Apple branded drive, but we can't on the internal one because it's not supported, it's a IBM one. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to install my BlueSCSI. Let me give that a try, just for shits and giggles. So there's the BlueSCSI. I have no idea which volume it's going to boot from. I've actually unplugged the internal drive because of the SCSI ID number. I think that's set to 0, and I think my disk images on here are set to 0 as well, so I didn't want any conflicts on the SCSI bus. But it's booting from the external drive from the BlueSCSI, which is kind of hilarious. Unfortunately there's no LED light on the front anymore. Could probably wire it up to the LED on the BlueSCSI itself, which I doubt we can see at the moment. Oh, there it is. Still not the fastest thing in the world. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, almost. So Macintosh HD and Quadra HD on the desktop. Those are my disk images on my BlueSCSI. So yeah, you can boot it from BlueSCSI. I think it's a bit of a large enclosure for such a tiny device. It's kind of hilarious. And also you need to power it on because this provides power to this board here. I'm not entirely sure if it's just for the fan or if it's for providing power for this somehow. I suspect it's just the fan, but I'll give that a play with later. Anyway, thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed it.